We started our journey to the Grand Canyon from Lehi, Utah in a 15-passenger van. Lehi was made famous in the 1984 movie Footloose. The Lehi roller mills seen in the movie are still here, but the surrounding area is much different. We packed 14 people and our gear into the 15-passenger van and headed south on I-15. There was a pit stop at Eagles Landing in Beaver, Utah. We stopped in Cedar City for lunch at Hermie's, then headed up the hills on Highway 56. It was a steep climb and the van was working hard when one of our coolant hoses blew out. We spent a few hours getting a lift into town for a new hose. In the meantime, everyone remained in good spirits, enjoying the beautiful surroundings while we removed the damaged hose. Back on the road, we arrived at the north rim of the Grand Canyon. We stopped at the trailhead for a group picture since we knew it would be dark when we hit the trail the next morning. We arrived at the North Rim just in time for a beautiful sunset and some sightseeing. Then we had dinner in the huge rustic lodge. We had 2 cabins for our group and squeezed in to prepare for the next day. The dark skies made for great stargazing. Up early for breakfast and still in the dark, we headed to the trailhead, packed back in the van. We started our descent into the Grand Canyon at about 6 a.m. on the North Kaibab Trail at about 8,241 feet of elevation. The morning glow started to illuminate the towering rock structures. The hike down the trail featured lots of switchbacks, we stopped for a quick view at the Coconino Overlook about 1.4 miles into the hike after dropping about 800 feet from the canyon rim. There were amazing new vistas at nearly every turn. Since the descent was fairly steep, it took its toll on the quads and the knees. This North Kaibab Trail was built over 100 years ago.
Howdy.
The first big stop on this trail is next to the Supai Tunnel at about 4 miles. We descended about 1,400 feet by this point. Here there are restrooms. There's usually water at this stop during the hiking season of mid-May to mid-October, but no water today. Water in the Grand Canyon can be hit and miss, so being prepared with plenty of water is important. After a quick break, we headed down the trail through the Supai Tunnel. Everyone was still pretty fresh. Since there were 13 of us hiking rim to rim, we divided into 2 separate groups. This rim-to-rim hike is not for the beginner. You must be in good shape and well prepared. The National Park Service discourages hiking the whole North Kaibab Trail in one day, let alone the whole rim-to-rim. We spent quite a bit of time training and preparing for this epic adventure. The next landmark is the Red Wall Bridge. We could see it from above, then we zigzagged down to the crossing as the wind was blowing pretty strong. The trail is carved into the canyon walls, and there are many places with steep drop-offs. As we got closer to the canyon floor, we could both hear and see Roaring Springs, which gushes right out of the cliffs. This feeds Bright Angel Creek and provides water for visitors and residents of the Grand Canyon. About 5.5 miles in is the Manzanita rest area with shade trees, toilets, and water, with a few picnic tables to sit and rest and have a snack. From Manzanita, it's somewhat flat to the Colorado River. Bright Angel Creek babbles along the trail. We cross a bridge just past Manzanita, and the trail weaves through vegetation and rocks. The canyon walls are spectacular as the sun bounces off the colors. There's plenty of wildlife. We saw lizards and deer, but there are many other species spread across the canyon. At one point, we saw a hiker carrying a bicycle on his back.
Hey, that looks ambitious.
I don't know how smart it is.
Where are you headed?
Just up here and maybe to 89 or whatever the highway is.
Okay. Good luck on your journey.
Thanks.
Enjoy.
The next main stopping point is Cottonwood Campground, with water and tables and camping spots. Many people take a few days to do the hike we're attempting to complete in one day. like a giant puzzle piece. These huge pieces just fell right out of the hill there. All along the way are towering rock features. This one is known as Buddha Temple, over 7,000 feet high. Along the trail is a side trip you can take to Ribbon Falls. There used to be a bridge, but it's out, so you have to cross the creek to get there. We chose not to, but we could see the falls in the distance, and you can see Buddha Temple up above. There are 6 bridges crossing Bright Angel Creek along this trail. The sights are nothing short of breathtaking all along the way. As we follow Bright Angel Canyon, we enter the section known as the Box. As canyon walls narrow, the temperature starts to climb as the sun gets higher in the sky. At about 14 miles in, we reached Phantom Ranch. Here there are cabins and a small cafe with famous lemonade. We stopped here for some food and filled with water. You can also send mail from Phantom Ranch, which leaves the Grand Canyon postmarked, hauled out by donkeys. Our hiking day was a warm one. The temperature climbed to over 100 degrees. Even though we were hiking in October, rangers warned us to get wet to cool off. We worked hard to stay hydrated and rinsed off in Bright Angel Creek at Bright Angel Campground. After cooling down, we crossed the Colorado River at a little after 2 o'clock. A helicopter shuttled up and down the canyon with loads of cement for a nearby construction project. We crossed over the Colorado River on what's known as the Silver Bridge, which leads to the Bright Angel Trail. We'll take that all the way to the South Rim. The Silver Bridge was built in the 1960s. Only hikers can cross this bridge. The bridge also supports a trans-canyon pipeline running from Roaring Springs that we saw earlier, all the way across the canyon and up to the South Rim Visitor Center to supply water. Really an engineering marvel. It carries about 500,000 gallons of water a day. At this point, it's been about 8 hours since our 6 a.m. start. We've descended about 5,850 feet, over a mile. We will now climb about 4,500 feet to the south rim. Though the climb to the south rim is shorter, the hardest part of the hike lies ahead. Looking back at the Silver Bridge, you can see the Black Bridge in the background. That leads to the South Kaibab Trail. After crossing the Colorado River, the trail climbs as we parallel the river with the rich green water. The trail has steep drop-offs along the way where you must step carefully to avoid disaster. We spotted a few other helicopters, likely tourists or medical choppers. As the sun started dipping low on the horizon, the temperature started dropping a little. Energy is waning as the long, hot day takes its toll, but we keep climbing and climbing and climbing. I promised you some tips. Well, here are 5 that I think will help if you decide to do the rim-to-rim hike. Get started early in the day, 5 a.m. or earlier. Keep drinking and eating all along your way to keep your energy up and keep your gut working. Hiking poles are a big help so your arms can aid your legs. Most important is training. I think climbing and descending many flights of stairs is a critical part of your training as it mimics the conditions you'll find in the Grand Canyon. And finally, make sure you trim your toenails. You don't want those jamming up against the end of your shoes or boots while you're hiking. We stopped next at Havasupai Gardens, formerly known as Indian Gardens. There's a campground, lots of greenery, restrooms, water, and benches for resting. From here we can look up to the south rim, about 4.5 hiking miles to go.
Woo!
There are several switchbacks to get to the top. At times we stopped and looked back to where we started this morning on the north rim.
Clear crossed.
Is that the south
In fact,
rim
you
up
see
there with the reflection?
The north rim, you see the reflection up there?
Yeah,
That's the lodge. So
Soon the sun set and we had to hike in the dark. People's headlights illuminated the sides of the canyon. looking like rows of ants slowly plodding up the trail. On the way up, we passed the 3-mile rest house with water and restrooms. Then there's the 1.5-mile rest house, each designating how far it is to the south rim. By this time, my body was giving me some negative feedback. I kept drinking water, but I wasn't able to eat any more food. But we pushed on in the dark, and steps were slow, and there wasn't much conversation. We just focused on reaching our destination. There are 2 tunnels at the top, which means we were less than a mile from the end.
You did it! Congratulations!
Oh, thank you.
You got it.
Oh, goodness.
I tried. I couldn't hear you. I mean, I could hear you. You couldn't hear me.
Finally, we reached the top with our shuttle driver greeting us. All in all, this is an amazing hike. A bucket list item for me and many of our group. An awesome adventure.
How long ago
The last 4 miles is just like an exercise in will, isn't it?